Welcome to this live recorded episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted. And today I'm talking to you a little bit about expanding, creating, calling in your desires through intention, but also expanding your intuition and how this all works together. If you're watching this live, the recording live, I do have to give you the little warning here that I am not on a great cell signal, same as last week, I believe. But I do have a handy dandy member of Team TSE in the background ready to jump in should I cut out or go completely just black or freeze on this live recording. So we all know that. If you're listening to this later on the podcast or on YouTube, then this is not relevant for you because what's already happened has happened. And we're coming at you from the past. Anyway, this is our live weekly recording of the Expedition to Soul podcast. And as I said, we are talking about intention for manifestation, creation, expansion, also intuition, and how that expands and what that has to do with intention. And we're bringing this discussion up because this Friday we are kicking off Magic Week. This is the first time we've done something like this, and it's called Magic Week because we are exploring magical spiritual practices in a way we haven't before, but also in conjunction with shadow work and archetype work. And we're going to begin Magic Week by digging into your expansion archetype. So you'll discover that on the first day. And then each day after, there's going to be a short video to watch, which will take you through the best magical practices for a person with your result. Also, shadow work for a person with your result. Also, learning who might really bug you based on their result and why that's important to know and what that has to do with manifestation, expansion, creation. I love the word expansion because we can expand who we are into a more abundant, joyful way of being outside of what we traditionally think of when we think of manifesting. So that's what we're going to talk about. But along the way, we're also going to create a magical expansion grid, I guess we can call it, sort of like a crystal grid, but it doesn't have to involve crystals. And we're going to do this as a project throughout the week as well. So there's that magic, there's that personal development, and we're bringing you that exact blend of magic, witchery, goodness, and personal growth and development like nobody does, like we do here at the Sisters Enchanted. It's what we do best, and I can't wait to kick off. So that starts Friday. If you're not registered, make sure you get registered. It's only $13. We kept it a very affordable registration so that anybody can join, and the materials are yours to go back to for again and again and again once you register. And our coveted Expedition to Soul materials are also there when you register, so you can access those right away while you wait. All right, now intention, intuition, expanding, growth. If you got our free Season of the Witch gift from last week, it was our tarot journal kit. And in there, we walk you through the story of tarot. And one of the things that we do for each of the cards is also provide prompts to help you connect to the story and really embed the knowledge and the story of the cards and the energy of them into your own way of being, your own way of remembering and just experiencing the cards. And the way that we teach tarot through that way of connection, it's similar to how we go about everything else. Being intentional with how you're connecting, being intentional with your thoughts, being intentional with your shadow work. This is how we become more present in our daily lives. If you want to expand your energy, if you want to expand your intuition, it begins with intention. Now, why is that? Intuition, and whether your intuition for you, you just want to really be able to feel your next gut response and follow it, right? Or you want to develop your psychic skills or your mediumship skills. However, this word intuition, it is for you, whatever this looks like, in order to just hear the next right thing for you, or to maybe you want to have a more intuition led relationship with your body or the stars, whatever. In order to do that, you have to stretch your ability to trust in yourself, also to release control. So trust in yourself, release control, let go of expectation, how you think something will be. And all of that happens through being intentional in your day-to-day life. So when you're more intentional with your shadow work, with the intuition practices you already have, with how you talk to people, how you talk to yourself, more intentional with the media you consume, the actions you take every day, being intentional with how you feel in your day-to-day life, that is what actually increases your intuition. I think there's a misconception that we increase intuition through more tarot, through more pendulums, through more meditation. And a lot of folks will tell you that. But what those things do is they actually bring you to being present. And meditation, for example, brings you into presence. The meditation isn't the thing that's meditation isn't expanding your intuition. It's making you more present, which is then expanding your intuition. So there's like a missing piece in the way that we present this and the development of it. The things that we can do, the practices to be more intuitive, they're about being more present in yourself and feeling into your emotions, feeling how your body feels when you're presented with something that's a hell yes, soul aligned decision. And oh my gosh, I think this isn't right for me, but I'm afraid to say no. And so I say yes anyway. And now here we are, not where I want to be. Your body, the more present you are in your life, the more self-aware you are in your communication with other people. I see so often women in particular who come to us and the stories are that they're doing everything for their family members. Nobody's helping them. Their kids don't listen. Their partners don't listen. Their coworkers don't listen. And it feels like they're just doing everything for everyone. And really, being present in how you feel in those situations, being very present with the boundaries that you set, the words you're speaking, being intentional with them, that helps you to trust yourself moving forward. And it helps you to release control of the situation. And through that trust that you build, the confidence in yourself, the release of control, and that presence, that is how you expand your intuition. That's also how you expand to create more of what you want to create in your life, because you're being present with the thoughts that you're thinking. You're being intentional with the thoughts that you're thinking. You're present in the moment. You're intentional with what you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're reacting. And that helps you to create more of that thing that you want, because you're being intentional about the way that you are moving through life. So, manifesting, creation, calling in your desires, also growing intuitively and really understanding your connection to your higher self, or if you want to be a medium or you want to develop those psychic skills. All of this happens through more intention and more intuition here on the earthly plane in your everyday life. In meditation, tarot, pendulums, any like of these practices we can do to grow those skills, those are all helpful, but they're helpful because they're bringing you present. If you are leaning on those tools like tarot, pendulums, meditation as sort of you really are just looking at it as a building block to get where you want to go, or as a crutch to kind of give you answers, that's not actually helpful. They're helpful when you're building a practice of intention and presence using those tools. And that's how you begin to manifest more of what it is that you want in your life. That's how you begin to expand your intuition, and you trust in yourself to hear the answers and hear what you already know. Your higher self already knows, your gut already knows. And that comes through this presence. Now, if you got your free Season of the Witch gifts, there are all sorts of tools there to help you. Working with the moon and the rhythm of the moon, you have a lunar tracker there. That will help you with presence. It helps you be more intentional with how you think about the day, how you felt in your day, and just acknowledging what has come to pass for you. You also have your Mercury and communication guide. That helps you maybe do shadow work and see where you might communicate well with others, or maybe not so well, or why you're at odds with other people. And that's that shadow work part that really helps you to be more self-aware and present in yourself and understand why you react the way you react, why you say the things you say, why you think the things that you think. There's some more resources for you. The morning potions guide that is there. And that is about creating that moment of intention and presence every day in your life. You have your tarot resource and all of these free gifts that we have given you that we have, they're linked up in our app. We can also send you the link if you've missed it. It's on our Facebook page as well. You can grab the link there. So Facebook page, app, you can find the link. And all of these things really help with this expansion when you put them into practice and use them. And that's why we teach the way we teach in our Holistic Witchery and Enchanted Journey programs, because we know it begins with intention. And through that, we expand into intuition. We level up from this 3D way of being where we're very reactive in our lives and everything's a problem. And, there's drama, drama llamas abound. Does anybody else say drama llama, or is it just me? Anyway. I know Anna says it, but Anna's not here today. She's my sister and co-founder of the Sisters Enchanted, if you don't know who that is. But that's how we get put into these things in this 3D life, right? But when we're more intentional, we grow that intuition, we can level up to a more 5D way of being, which is thought that it's that energetic plane is where we're really connecting. It's where we're really manifesting. It's where we're really growing, cultivating, expanding our energy out to have a capacity to bring in the things that don't seem like we could possibly have them. And it starts with intention. So intention is the root of all of this expansion, whether it's your intuition, something you want to manifest. We begin with intention. And I see Erica in the comments is affirming to me that drama llama is a thing at their house too. Yes, drama llama. It's one of my favorite gifts to find is a drama llama gift. I love gifts. It's my love language. And drama llama is one of my most favorite ones to find and to use. Anyway, I tangent about drama llamas. And if you can resonate with that though, get back to this intention piece. In Magic Week, that's why we're starting with your archetype and discovering who it is, right? Or what it is, so that then we can do all of these things. We can become more self-aware. We can do the shadow work. We can look for the magical tools that relate to specifically who you are, because that's the other bit of it, is you can really grasp at strong and learn all the things. You can learn tarot, you can learn meditation, you can learn working with crystals and crystal healing, and you can learn about your chakras and energy centers and the moon, and you can learn about everything. But not everything is the right thing for you, and it becomes overwhelming and you feel like a failure, and then you shut yourself down from this expansion. So figuring out what's right for you right now, which tool is going to be most helpful for you right now, is also going to speed up the process of this expansion. As a person who, we were just talking this morning on our Team Sisters Enchanted meeting, we have them each day of the weekdays, Monday through Friday, and we were talking about the change in weather and temperatures. All of us live in a place where we notice none of us are in Florida or anything. We all, or Texas, we all notice the cold season. We all have a fall and then a winter. And we were talking about the change in seasons and turning our heat on and electricity and whatnot. And I was sharing the story that growing up, my mom, when I was like middle school and high school years, was a single mom, and we didn't have a lot of money. We lived in a 600 square foot apartment, and my mom was very resistant to turning our heat on. And she came home from work one day, and Anna and I, again, that's my sister, were sitting in the living room with hats and gloves and coats on. And it's and we were not necessarily, we weren't that cold, but it was kind of to show our mom, like, hey, can we turn the heat on now? We're pretty cold in here. And my mom, bless her, she did the best she could. And I think we turned out pretty good, I gotta say. So thank you, Mom, if you're watching this. Sometimes she watches these things. But we were talking about that story, right? And how it's, just how different people respond to life. And this is where, understanding who you are, how you communicate, and being intentional can change your trajectory. So I very easily could be a person who, as an adult, is like very afraid to turn the heat on, or who repeats these same poverty cycles that I grew up in, yet doing the things we do here, teaching what I teach here is what expands my energy and helps me to see when I'm really sabotaging myself or holding myself back based on a story that's not helpful. Some of these stories are harder to break from than others. Some of them take longer to break from. But knowing your stories, knowing yourself, and being intentional with how that's showing up in your life is so important to expansion, which is why we talk about intention, shadow work so much. It's embedded in everything that we do. It's also why we teach personal growth along with spiritual growth, because you cannot have one without the other. It truly is not helpful to have one without the other. And then knowing what tools work well for you. For example, I hold tons of stories from my childhood that are not helpful to me as an adult and expanding to where I want to be, right? And so for me, working with the stories of the energy centers is very natural and is very helpful, because I have so many stories to unwind, so many stories to uncover, and so many opportunities. They are opportunities in a day. They might not feel great, but opportunities to say, oh, I see this story showing up. This isn't helpful. How do I be intentional with this so that I can expand the things I want to expand in my life and expand my intuition? And the more I do this, the faster the process happens. And we want that for each of you. So you have tons of tools in your Season of the Witch gifts that were entirely free that you can use to work on this. And you can also join us in Magic Week. And we've got a whole archive of amazing podcast episodes from the past. You can go through there, build your own little Magic School playlist, download some episodes, and enjoy that as well. So lots of tools to help you here at the Sisters Enchanted as you are more intentional, so you can grow that intuition and grow your expansion, your manifesting, creation capacities, however you want to say that. And we're here to help you do it. So use all the resources we've got. Let's see. I see some folks sharing it's their favorite season. Yeah, fall. And another saying, we wait as long as possible to feel each season, you think. Yeah, totally. I love, I think that it's another part of that presence, right? Is when we lean into the season. I'm going to go on a short tangent and then I'm going to wrap this up. But that's part of that being intentional and present, is when we are at resistance to a phase, and we're not being intentional to create, right? And that's one of the things we teach in this. We have this 5-eye spiral that we teach, and it's all about phases. And intuition is the 5th eye, but it's not a phase. And that's because your intuition grows through all this intentional work that you do. And just like it's not showing me your name, so I apologize. But as someone is sharing, really feeling each season, and when we don't pause to feel what's happening, we're not being intentional and we're in resistance with that. So whether that's the seasonal year and you're really trying to, it's the feeling of the season, or a lunar cycle. This happens all the time in a lunar cycle as well, where we have like a spring season, a summer season, an autumn season, a winter season within a lunar cycle. And it also happens in your day-to-day life. So if you think about like the time you wake up to the time you go to bed at night, we also have this 4-part cycle going on. And when we live in resistance to these rhythms, and especially to how we relate to these rhythms, then we are not being intentional and we're not being present. And so much of our adult lives is not set up for this. I mean, we have to be at work at a certain time. If you have kids in school, they have to be at school at a certain time. You're dictated your like their time off. We're not built for this. Our society is not built for this seasonality. And that's the juggle of how do we live in this earthly plane world that we all live in, and also grow into this higher level of our spiritual selves. And that's why here at the Sisters Enchanted, we do this together. We do your personal growth journey with your spiritual growth journey, because you can't do one without the other. It truly is not helpful. And doing them together hand in hand, you're both more present in your life. You're doing the things you have to do. The reality is you probably have to, if you're watching this, unless you are unless you were born into millions, you probably have to work. You probably have somebody you have to like check in on and take care of or raise or something, or there's some responsibilities here. So how do we do that while growing spiritually, right? And how do we do that if the other people around us aren't growing spiritually? That's an even bigger question. And that's why we do the things that we do here, to bring that together, because intuition, intention, and everyday magic, that is the way forward to a life that feels more abundant, joyful, and soul aligned. We know that, and we want to help you see that for yourself as well. All right, tangent over. We're going to wrap this up here for today. Thank you all for listening in. If you were here for the live Expedition to Soul podcast recording, and if you are watching this later on YouTube or listening in on our Expedition to Soul podcast, remember to give us a thumbs up, leave a review. Those types of things, they seem small and irrelevant. They are immensely helpful to a small business. I can't tell you how helpful they are. And if you listen on the podcast, create yourself a little Magic School podcast. It's really easy to do. You can download some episodes right on your phone, and then you'll have them to take on the go, so you don't need to be connected to internet, and you can kind of create yourself a little Magic School retreat when you're on a walk or cleaning your house and doing the things that you might not want to be doing. And if you want, you can join us in Magic Week. We start on Friday. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to get started. I hope to see some of you there. We've got about 800 people right. I'd love to hit 1,000. So if you're not registered, get registered, and we'll see you there on Friday. And in the meantime, I hope that you all have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. Bye.